Good morning, this is the podcast Ancient Rome Today. You have probably heard of the Ides of March because on that day in 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated. In the ancient calendar, the Ides are the middle of the month, so the Ides of March mean the middle of March accordingly. Since it is almost the middle of March, it is time to talk about the reasons for the assassination of Julius Caesar and the Caesaricide. We all know this person as one of the greatest military leaders and politicians of all time. Julius Caesar also carried out an important calendar reform that is still used in some countries of the world. This man is also known for being able to do several things at the same time. For example, listening to his subordinates and signing important documents. So why did Julius Caesar get removed from the political arena? Today, we will unveil the main reasons for the Caesaricide. First of all, it should be noted that the physical elimination of Caesar was preceded by a number of unique coincidences in the political, economic, and social spheres. However, the legal reasons were the most significant since Caesar was considered a tyrant, which provided a legal basis for his physical removal as an act of justice. Let's first recall the events that led to Caesaricide. The speed at which Caesar gained military success in Spain, Gaul, the Balkans, and Asia Minor was proportional to his appointment to military political positions. In 63 BC, he became the great pontiff of the Roman state. 4 years later, he became consul, then proconsul of Gaul, and again consul, and then tribune. Later, he received the title of emperor, which had a military scope at that time. Later, on February 14th in 44 BC, the Senate awarded Caesar the title of dictator for life, which caused controversy, since the dictator was an exclusively temporary position for up to 6 months. In fact, almost all power in the Roman state was concentrated in the hands of one person, Caesar. This violated the foundations of the Republican regime. Such a political and legal situation became the main point of accusation against Caesar and the catalyst for his removal. At this point, the question comes into your mind. Probably, why did the Senate, which defended Republican values, assign the title of dictator for life to Julius Caesar? First of all, it should be said that the first part of the 1st century BC was turbulent in the Roman state. It was full of political destabilization, civil wars, and so on. It was obvious that the Republican regime was no longer satisfying the needs of the state, so the cult of personality was rapidly gaining popularity. Caesar had many supporters. Caesar's officers and aristocrats who sided with him were promoted to high political and military positions. He also helped ordinary people to tackle their debt issues and other social problems for Roman citizens. In 48 to 44 BC, a large-scale renewal of the Roman elite took place. About 100 Pompeian nobles died in the war, and the number of senators increased from 400 to 900. Many officers and even Caesar's soldiers, horsemen, representatives of the municipal nobility, the top of Transpadane Gaul, became senators. As a result, people loyal to the dictator formed the majority in the Senate. That is why the Senate granted Caesar the title of dictator for life. They believed that Caesar could establish order in the Roman state. Unfortunately, Julius Caesar did not accomplish everything he had planned, but his successor, Octavian Augustus, did. Although the Senate's majority was in favor of Caesar, there were many defenders of the republican system who did not want all the power to be in the hands of that man. Those Republicans organized a conspiracy and attacked Caesar during the Senate session on March 15th in 44 BC in the theater of Pompey. This place can still be seen today. It is called Largo di Torre Argentina and is located not far from the Capitoline Hill. It is now an archaeological site that can be visited or seen from street level. This place is also famous for the cats living there. Every year, on March 15th, the Caesaricide is reproduced as a theater act. This is a kind of show that takes place in the same area where that tragic event occurred in 44 BC, the theater of Pompey, which is now known as the Largo di Torre Argentina.